After seeing that mind-blowing end credit scene in Argylle, I'm super pumped for Kingsman: The Blue Blood. It's going to be the next big thing in the Kingsman series, set after Taron Egerton and Colin Firth's third movie. Matthew Vaughn, the writer and director, has big plans for it, making it the fourth, or maybe fifth if you count Argylle, installment. The first movie, The Secret Service, was hilariously over the top, but the sequel, Golden Circle, left us wanting a bit more. He even went back in time with The Kingsman, diving into World War I spy antics. Since The Kingsman dropped in late 2021, fans have been itching to know what's next. Vaughn and Taron Egerton teased that another flick was coming, but details were scarce. Now, we've got Kingsman: The Blue Blood on the horizon, but production seems to be dragging its feet. Plus, Vaughn's got this new movie Argylle, adding even more depth to the franchise's universe. Kingsman: The Golden Circle didn't quite hit the mark like the first film did. Bringing back Agent Harry Hart felt like a bold move, considering his emotional exit in the first movie, which really shaped Eggsy into his own hero. However, despite the mixed reviews, The Golden Circle wasn't a total flop. Vaughn has had his share of disappointments with sequels. Kick-Ass 2 lost the sharp satire that made his early 2010s films so fun, and the X-Men series lost its originality after First Class, especially evident in Dark Phoenix. While The Golden Circle wasn't a standout like the original, it's definitely not in the disaster league of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice when it comes to highly anticipated comic book adaptations. It's going to be quite the ride watching Firth, Egerton, and the gang come together again for a thrilling third installment in the original Kingsman saga, wrapping up their adventures and possibly setting the stage for what's next. These characters have really connected with audiences, so closing out their story with one more fantastic film could set the stage for exciting spin-offs and a bigger cinematic universe. And let's not forget the buzz about Dwayne Johnson possibly joining the cast as a villain in The Blue Blood. Vaughn's got big plans if he can make that happen. Beside this, we're also getting a sequel to The Kingsman. In The Kingsman, Ralph Fiennes plays Orlando Oxford, who starts the Kingsman organization and becomes its first Arthur, leading their version of the Knights of the Round Table. Unlike the earlier film's dark comedy, The Kingsman takes a more serious tone, delving into the grim realities of war. Orlando's drive to carry on the Kingsman legacy after losing his son, Conrad, played by Harris Dickinson, shapes the narrative, culminating in the formation of a new team by the film's conclusion. While the first movie wraps up at the end of World War I, it's clear the series is eyeing World War II for its next chapter. A post-credits scene hints at David Cross appearing as a young Adolf Hitler, potentially setting him up as the next major antagonist. This blending of Kingsman fiction with real historical events adds a unique flavor, setting the prequel apart from its predecessors in terms of tone and narrative scope. Considering Vaughn's knack for paying homage to James Bond, it's intriguing to think about him exploring different periods in the Kingsman universe. Vaughn has a clear admiration for 1960s Bond films, evident in his work on X-Men First Class, which echoes the style of classics like From Russia with Love and Goldfinger. Now, Vaughn has confirmed plans for the Kingsman sequel, titled The Traitor King, which will delve into the rise of Hitler. In an interview with Collider, Vaughn highlighted how the film will explore Hitler's ascent to power and his support from the English aristocracy. He drew parallels to today's world, where distractions can lead to significant consequences, emphasizing the relevance of revisiting this historical narrative. Exploring major 20th century milestones through the lens of the Kingsman universe could open up fascinating storytelling avenues, especially with The Traitor King focusing on World War II and Adolf Hitler's rise. The film's title seems to allude to Edward VIII, who famously abdicated the throne in favor of his brother George VI due to his controversial ties to Nazi sympathizers. Edward VIII's rumored connections and visits to Nazi Germany, where he socialized with high-ranking Nazis, including Hitler himself, provide a compelling backdrop for a Kingsman sequel. In this alternate history, the Kingsman organization could find themselves tasked with confronting Edward VIII's affiliations and potentially thwarting a dangerous alliance. This scenario not only sets up a gripping plot, but also allows Vaughn to delve into political themes, such as class dynamics and national identity, subjects he has skillfully woven into the franchise. It's clear that Vaughn is adept at blending historical intrigue with his unique cinematic style, promising audiences another thought-provoking and action-packed chapter in the Kingsman saga. Now, let's discuss the most important thing that makes this whole spy universe so much exciting for me. I am talking about Argylle's post-credit scene. For fans eagerly awaiting the third Kingsman installment, the ending of Argylle was quite the tantalizing tease. The film cleverly revealed that the real Agent Argylle is actually Ellie Conaway, played by Henry Cavill, who is also the character in her popular book series. But then, in a surprising twist, Henry Cavill himself appears as a character present at the reveal of Ellie's new book, hinting at deeper layers to the story. Adding to the intrigue, the post-credit scene introduced a young Argylle, played by Louis Partridge, who is revealed to be a Kingsman agent. This revelation not only suggests a shared universe between Kingsman and Argylle, but also implies that Ellie's books might have been inspired by real adventures involving Argylle, possibly a fellow agent. With these connections sparking crossover speculation among fans, and Matthew Vaughn not ruling it out, the possibilities for intertwining these two dynamic franchises are certainly exciting to ponder. Now, if you wonder about the third movie status, worry not. The third Kingsman movie is definitely in the works, despite the hurdles that have caused delays and tested fans' patience. Matthew Vaughn has assured us it's happening, but production has been pushed back due to various industry challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic and labor strikes. It looks like filming won't kick off until next year at the earliest, meaning we might not see the movie until 2026, especially with Taron Egerton's packed schedule. Vaughn seems optimistic about the creative freedom this delay allows, though. Now, the focus is on finding a distributor, whether it's 20th Century Pictures or another major studio like Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Paramount, Universal, or Warner Brothers. After Argylle's box office reception, plans for a big shared universe appear less likely, suggesting Kingsman may refocus on its core story. With nearly a decade since the Secret Service hit theaters, fans are eager for Vaughn to wrap up his trilogy and possibly pass the torch to new creative minds for future spin-offs. But it's not just the big screen that's getting Kingsman's love, it's the small screen as well. Kingsman: The Golden Circle introduced The Statesman, America's cowboy-themed spy agency with a passion for alcohol and liquor. Originally slated for its own film, the project shifted gears in 2021 to become a television series. Since then, updates on the series have been scarce, but it's evident that Kingsman aims to expand into a multimedia franchise akin to the MCU and Star Wars. The distribution platform for the series remains uncertain. While many assumed 20th Century Pictures held the rights due to their distributions of the films, Matthew Vaughn clarified that his production company, Marv, actually owns the Kingsman franchise rights. This means he's not bound by Disney's schedule or approval processes, opening the possibility for the series to land elsewhere. Vaughn could potentially take the series to a streaming service like Apple TV+, which recently distributed his film Argylle, or any studio looking to bolster their franchise lineup. A Statesman series on Apple TV+ could fit well alongside their mix of original hits like Ted Lasso and The Morning Show, along with IP-driven projects such as Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Well, that's it for today. What are you most excited about for the future of the Kingsman franchise? Do you think the crossover with Argylle could lead to epic storytelling? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all the latest Kingsman news. Until next time, keep your gadgets ready and your suits sharp.